everybody, welcome back, and get ready for awesomeness, because today we're taking a look at Twinkle Star Sprites on the Sega Dreamcast, which I think the alternate title should have just been fun, because that's all this game is. It's like somebody found a way to concentrate fun into a solid form and made it into a disc. This Dreamcast version was released in 2000, but there are a ton of ports that were released in the mid to late 90s for the Neo Geo systems, the Sega Saturn, and the PlayStation 2, and there was even a sequel made for the PS2 in 2005. It was developed by the consistently great ADK and published by SNK, and it's easily one of my new favorite Neo Geo games and Dreamcast games simultaneously. Twinkle Star Sprites can best be described as a one-on-one shoot-'em-up crossed with a puzzle game, or at least that's how I've always heard it described, but honestly, it's much more of a shooter with some light puzzle elements. Basically, the point of the game is to kill all of the enemies that appear on your side of the screen, and the better you do, the more hell you send over to your opponent's side, and this back and forth goes on until one side is no more. The puzzle aspect comes into play in that by destroying specific enemies, you can cause a chain reaction that destroys a bunch more, thus earning you big combos and sending more enemies to your opponent's side. Getting hit by enemies not only reduces your health, but also equally replenishes the health of your opponent, so some matches can last quite a long time and get really insane. There are 3 gameplay modes to choose from. The story mode, which has you going through 7 stages as the game's young female protagonist trying to find the Twinkle Star and make her Sailor Moon-like transformation. The other 2 modes are Arcade and Versus, where you can choose from the game's 9 characters that all have different stats, fire modes, and bombs. It's important to note that when you use your bombs, you clear the screen of enemies, but only the ones that were sent from your opponent's side will be returned to them. So it's best to wait until they send over a lot of enemies before using one. There's definitely some strategy to be had here, but for the most part, you'll be shooting like mad and frantically trying to avoid incoming enemies. Overall, the gameplay in Twinkle Star Sprites is incredibly fun and addictive. It's very hard to put this one down, and really, why would you want to? This is also a game with some amazing presentation, from the excellent soundtrack to the almost seizure-inducingly colorful visuals. This is almost akin to staring at a slot machine or something. There's constantly a lot of activity and a collage of colors that's all very pleasing to the eyes and perfectly complements the very fun gameplay. And at the same time, the soundtrack complements them both. The music is very high energy, lighthearted, and just sounds fun, if that makes sense. It all comes together to create a very attractive game that's almost as fun to look at and listen to as it is to play. This is a great game that I can easily recommend playing. Like I said, it's crazy fun and one of my new favorite Dreamcast games. The only downside is that copies of this game, regardless of which platform you're buying for, can be pretty high, anywhere from $70 to almost $200. It was made available on the Wii Virtual Console, but only in Japan, and on PSN, which I'm not really sure about. It's also available on GameTap of all places, so you have plenty of options to get either a physical or digital copy. If you can spare the cash though, I can easily recommend picking up the Dreamcast version, which is one of the cheaper ones typically. Whatever the case may be though, go out of your way to play fun, also known as Twinkle Star Sprites.